Hi, readers. It's Lori. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 5. Okay, I missed you yesterday. Had a weird day. Don't want to talk about it. But today I woke up and I was watching my phone and I had a notification that Melinda had tagged me on Tag Tuesday. And I haven't done a Tag Tuesday in a while. And I had no plan for time to film today. I have plans for what I'm going to film next, but I don't have a lot of time today to film anything significant. So I'm going to have to be very strategic, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Time is a challenge for us right now. I have to be honest. It probably is a challenge for all of you, but we're going to make it work. Nevertheless, you see, we got another tree put up. Yay. And I'll be working on another one very, very soon. We have company coming, so lots of stuff to celebrate this week. All right. So Tag Tuesday today is the kindness tag. And I really like this because it does talk about practicing kindness and receiving kindness from others. And this is a good time of the year to really think about that piece of giving and receiving kindness to each other. It isn't just about gifts. It isn't certainly just about Christmas trees. It's really about all of the things that come into this holiday season from all of the different traditions and faiths and ethnicities. And so for me, kindness is something that I really love to practice and share all year round, but especially during the month of December. So this tag was originally started by Caitlin at Bandy Books, and I am not familiar with Caitlin, so I'm going to be checking her out as well as some of the other folks that Melinda talked about on her video. So be sure to go watch hers at A Web of Stories, Melinda at A Web of Stories. She does a lot of tags. She's just always so cheerful and happy, and I appreciate her friendship and connection so much. So the first prompt is, how do you practice kindness in your daily life? I think kindness for me starts with being aware of the good things around me. And so quite frankly, this may seem a little bit out of touch with this particular tag, but kindness starts with me doing some gratitude journaling every single morning. I do morning pages, have done for a long time. And at the end of my morning pages, I talk about what I'm most happy about completing, which are some creative things, some reading, and some self-care things. And then I talk about what I'm grateful for. The reason I bring this up is because I think that what I'm grateful for also sparks my desire to be kind to people. And when I'm in that process of journaling and thinking about what's happened in the days prior and what's about to happen, that also often creates within me an awareness of what's been happening around me and how other people are connected in some way to sharing kindness with me. So my practices of kindness after those kinds of things that I do to generate that feeling is that I typically will text somebody, not every morning, but generally speaking, someone in my family or my group of friends, I will text just to check in on them, tell them something that I'm grateful for, notice something that they said on Facebook. Sometimes I will post something on Facebook that hopefully shares a little bit of kindness to someone, especially if they're having a rough time, which, any of us can have at any given time. I do try to do something special in the evening with and for my partner. Sometimes that is making dinner. Sometimes that is not making dinner, but sometimes it's just, can I get you anything? How was your day? Obviously, I want to know those things. I try to practice kindness for my neighbors now and again by baking breads for them or by just, again, cheering them on in our neighborhood community. And when I see them on the street, I always try to wave at people. I don't know why. In fact, there's a funny story about this that I'll tell you in a second, but I do love to wave and acknowledge people. And so I do that when I'm driving in and out of the neighborhood or when I'm outside. I just wave and smile. And I also try to remember people who've helped me in stores and on telephone calls and whenever that might be by calling them by their name. So, for example, the other day I was in the Walmart. A woman was particularly kind, helping me in the self-checkout. And I always notice their name tags because I think when we're called by name, we feel seen, heard, and honored or valued. So I said, "Thank you, Marilyn. Have a lovely holiday season." And she said, "Thank you. Thanks to you, too. Same to you." She was just so pleased by that because I'm sure that when you work in some of these places, especially during the holiday season, you're not necessarily feeling a ton of love and kindness. Okay, the funny story is years and years and years ago, I was with my family in a mall in Florida, I think, and I was walking past a store in the mall, and there was a woman standing at the, opening of the store. You know how those mall store openings are. And I stopped for just a second and said, hi there. It was a cardboard cutout of a woman. It was not a real person. And so my family laughed so hard. They have never let me forget that. They have said more than once to other people that I talk to cardboard people, and they just make fun of me about that all the time. And it makes me laugh just thinking about it. But, when I was walking by out of the corner of my eye, I thought she was a real person. So I'm even kind to cardboard people. The second prompt is, what is the kindest thing that's happened to you on YouTube? Gosh, there's so many kind things that have happened to me. Every time somebody subscribes, I feel that as a kindness. I feel that as a connection to me that somebody made, and they didn't certainly have to. All of the comments that I received just brighten my day. I have only ever received one kind of challenging comment, not mean, but a little challenging. And I responded and said that I appreciated her sharing her views, and that, this was kind of how my take on this was. I think she unsubscribed and I've not seen her again since, and that's okay. But I love to be able to interact with all of you. And I see that as a kindness because you don't have to spend time doing that. You don't have to take time out of your day to comment to me. And especially the kindness that I've received from my friend Sarah at Sarah's Nightstand, and Lindsay at Lindsay's Little Library, and Berna at Berna's Bookish Adventures. These content creators have mentioned me. They have supported me over the years. They have shared things with me. We've done buddy reads. Sarah and Lindsay kind of shepherded me in when I first started and helped me to kind of feel comfortable. And they have more than once shutted me out. And so that has also helped me to get more, visibility, which is, of course, a nice thing, a nice perk to have. Here's my dog trying to get some visibility. Talk about that. So I appreciate the kindness of other booktubers, and Melinda too. She's always tagging me and sharing stuff about me. And I think Kat at Kat's Novel Adventures, she's a lovely, lovely booktuber and shows so much kindness in so many ways. So there's a lot of those. I can't just set on one. I'm sorry, but I'm just not that girl. But I just appreciate all of them so much. All right, question number 3. Who do you think, in your opinion, is one of the kindest booktubers out there? And I would say it is Louise Savage. I found Louise because her son, Simon, has a channel called Savage Reads, which is actually spelled Savidge. There is another Savage Reads channel out there as well. And I found Louise through his videos and his blogs with her. They would go shopping for books now and again. And her channel is now called Louise Savage Muses, but I don't think it was called that until recently. I just noticed that it had changed because I was trying to find some of her videos and I couldn't. So I think she just changed it, but it was called something else, I think. Louise makes you just feel like you are with her and that she cares about you. And she just has this way about her. She's a little bit older like me. And I don't know, she just gives me this vibe that I think she would just be one of the kindest people. She's a teacher, she's an instructor, and she believes so much in literature and in reading and in growing and developing through reading. So she really wants to share books with you that have made an impact on her. And she just seems like she would be a lovely person to stroll through England and go through bookstores with. I think Louise is a sweet, sweet person. What is a book that reminded you to be more kind? I really struggled with this, but I think the one I'm choosing, it's hard to choose just one for me, but I think the one I'm choosing is A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. And here's the reason. Obviously, Ove was not a particularly kind person in the beginning of that book, which sometimes the contrast to kindness is what sort of reminds us internally how important it is to be kind. But more than that, his neighbors who had just moved in and were treated very badly by him, as well as his other neighbors who were his dear, dear friends. And then they had a falling out over a car and a car park and all kinds of ridiculous things. But because those people continued to be kind to Ove, he was able then to find within him the healing that he needed, because he wasn't, I don't think, unkind in general. I think he was a kinder person, although he probably was struggling sometimes with perceiving other people's emotions and motivations for doing certain things. But I think he had kindness within him. And obviously, that book would show you how that begins to emerge for him. But I do think that that's a great example of both the opposite of kindness, the truth and love of kindness, and then how they can merge to create something special. Prompt number 5 is, can you think of a fiction book of any genre that focuses on themes of kindness? And yes, I can. And that is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I read this because my granddaughter was enamored with it years ago when it first came out, and I was struck by how much I loved this. I gave this book 5 stars. It is about a 5th grader named Augie, and he has a facial disability that has limited him from going to school. I think, as I recall, perhaps his parents were afraid that he would be made fun of and bullied. Perhaps he was too, but nevertheless, the decision is made for him to go back to school. I think he's the one that initiates it, to go to a regular school. And when he starts to attend, of course, there is a rough patch. There's no fairy tale of wonder at the beginning of this book that everybody just says, wow, thanks, great, you look fantastic, come on in. They are all, of course, 5th graders. So remember what your life was like in 5th grade. Augie is befriended by a girl, and he is then, of course, starting to see the wonder in everything around him, and others are starting to see the wonder in Augie. And it is a great sort of coming to terms with disabilities, with people who are different, with loving people through difficult times, with releasing fears as parents, which of course was a huge part of this book, and as siblings. He had a sibling as well. And just in general, this was a feel-good read, even though it was at times very uncomfortable. And I think the acts of kindness that were shown in that book are some that I will never forget. The next question is, how do I think I can make BookTube a kinder place, individually and as a community? My experience is that BookTube is a pretty kind place, but I have seen over the years, as a more of a viewer than a content creator, I've seen examples of when YouTube has taken a turn. I think that when we share others' channels, that's definitely a place to build community and be kinder and showcase people that perhaps others don't know about, especially smaller booktubers. And I still consider myself to be a smaller booktuber for sure. I also think that we need to be more diverse in our recommendations of people and of content creators, because I think some people are not getting the same level of watches. And I'm not sure if it is because of the books that they read, the genres that they read. I'm not sure if it is like we just feel like we are addicted to that next thriller, right? Or that next most anticipated read, which I am trying to back off of. You'll notice I haven't done a video on December yet, struggling with that. I think it's just nicer to be able to showcase others, to partner with others, to make projects and readathons happen with each other, to really participate in reading sprints and things like that. I think those are where we make connections with people that are more long lasting and maybe more meaningful. And then, of course, produce kindness, because what's better than to support somebody else who's trying to do something that they love? Question 7 is prompt 7 is say some kind words about one of your favorite booktube channels. One of my favorites is Vicky's Book Nook. I've been following Vicky for years, and I really appreciate her personality. I appreciate her authenticity. She's just such a sweet person, and I just enjoy being with her. She's another one that I feel like if I was in a room with her, if we were having lunch, if we were reading together in a coffee shop, I would just be so happy to be in her presence. And she's very, very thoughtful about what she says about different books and about, when she's rating them, how, she like, because I hate that too. Like when you rate a book and you don't love it as much, it's really hard you don't want to hurt the feelings of the author. It may just not be a match for you, but she's very graceful and is able to really communicate in a way that feels honest, authentic, and that she really cares about what she's doing. And I think that sometimes I watch booktube creators and they're just rushing through and they're kind of just going. And I've sometimes done that too. I'm sure I'm guilty of that. I know, because sometimes I am in a big hurry to get a video out. But Vicky always just seems like she's intentionally taking the time to sit and talk to you and to share those reads with you. And I really appreciate that. Prompt number 8 is share a new booktube channel, small booktube channel. And so I love this new one, really new to me. I don't remember if I found her, I think maybe through a reading sprint or somebody mentioned her. I can't remember, but her channel's name is Bandana Book Mom. And her name is Talia, I think. And she has the best little energy, but she wears a bandana through most of her videos, maybe all of them, because she says that she's a homeschooling mom. She's trying to keep it all together and do a booktube channel. She has a good energy and I really enjoyed her. She has a smaller channel. I don't know that she's been doing this for very long. Let me see if I can tell how long she's been. She has 128 videos and she joined March 17th of 2022. I don't know if she started making content then or not, but check out Talia at Bandana Book Mom. Prompt number 9 is tag some friends to spread some kindness. These aren't necessarily friends yet, but I'd like them to be. So I'm going to shout out Cozy Reader Kelly. That's the name of her channel. I love listening to her videos and she reads a lot of cozies, which I appreciate. A lot of people don't talk as much about cozies and I really appreciate when they do. I like Melissa at Libraries and Labradors. She's so super sweet. And, I have Labradors as well. So there's that, but she has great content. And I've also recently found Lindsay Reads, which I found by accident because I typed in to find my friend Lindsay at Lindsay's Little Library, and I ended up on Lindsay Reads' channel. Lindsay is a great booktuber, and she's fairly new, I think, to booktube as well. And she's just a lot of fun, and I appreciate her channel and watching her videos and watching her grow and develop. So that is my kindness tag for this Tuesday. Again, thanks to my friend Melinda at A Web of Stories. Thanks to all of you for your kindnesses over the years. And as always, happy reading. Bye.